At my very first state conference, I remember getting locked out on my balcony in freezing weather with half a bottle of water and a day-old pizza, caught in the elements of Champion PA. In a panic, I called all of my teammates for help to pry open the door, and even had to convince our advisor to save me. At the end of the night, my advisors came to the rescue, and my teammates and I received a stern scolding. While this may have dismayed the average member, I was motivated to prove my worth within TSA. Hello Pennsylvania TSA, my name is Zain Al-Salim, and I'm running to be your next State Sergeant at Arms. But don't worry, I won't get locked on a balcony this year. I have dedicated myself for the past 3 years in TSA by serving in chapter office and participating in several state committees. This year I have had the honor to serve as the Vice Chair of the Conference Sessions and Activities Committee. TSA promotes post-secondary learning within STEM fields, yet there seems to be an absence of college recognition and initiatives throughout the state. Rather than just using our alumni for judging, we can provide them a special interest session where we can learn how college students incorporate and utilize TSA in their post-secondary efforts. We can add links to the website with alumni that go to specific colleges, where the PA-TSA website will act as a bridge between college students and PA-TSA members. The Conference Sessions and Activities Committee accomplishes a large portion of their work after the regional conferences, and I think we can all agree that our state officers have been able to accomplish a lot of work over the years. But with more conference initiatives and ideas, their workload is also significantly increased. By creating a flex subcommittee where CSAC can take on some of the state officers' responsibilities for the conference, general efficiency and an improved workflow could be accomplished. These initiatives will allow us to grow and emphasize an association between students and technology, something which many of us feel we could improve upon. But PA-TSA, to truly make these objectives a reality, I need your support and input to improve on the foundations I have presented. TSA will never cease to amaze me, and that is why I am truly honored to run as your next Sergeant at Arms. Remember PA-TSA, use your brain and vote for Zain.
Hi PA-TSA. As you know, we're in the midst of a global pandemic. There was and still is so much unknown. COVID-19 didn't come with instructions on how to defeat it. As a result, the 2020 state conference had to be canceled. This bothered many PA-TSA members, and we weren't going to settle for another cancellation. We did what PA-TSA members always do, use problem solving to find a solution. I would like to congratulate you, PA-TSA, for successfully having a state conference. I'm Kendall Coddington, and I'm running to be your next State Sergeant at Arms. I love this organization so much, and I want to help improve it as it has helped me grow as a person. As the president of my own chapter, I filmed videos to watch after one reads the event guide to offer extra insight or more clarification on the events. I want to do the same for PA-TSA on the existing YouTube channel. This series could be called The Event Guide Simplified, and they can include Zoom interviews from event veterans to offer advice from experience. This will be extremely helpful for both new and experienced TSA members. I was a lead regional representative and a member of the CAPC and CSAC committees. I really enjoyed being a part of the CSAC committee. I even made a new special interest session, the life skills session, that you should check out. Anyways, I became really interested in becoming more involved in the CSAC committee. I would be excited and prepared to lead that committee as committee chair, Sergeant at Arms. The main reason I want to be your next Sergeant at Arms, however, is not to become the chair of the CSAC committee. Winning the election sounds great, but the real winning I'm worried about is each of you getting the most out of this amazing organization. I believe that having me as your Sergeant at Arms and implementing my ideas will help each one of you do better at your events and become better people overall. So for the real win, vote Kendall Coddington.
Hello Pennsylvania TSA, I'm Evan Kahn and I'm running for the office of Sergeant at Arms. I'd like to begin by congratulating all of you on qualifying for the state conference. This year tested and challenged all of us, but you stuck with it and made it, so congratulations. Now I could start by telling you how I'm a 4-year TSA member, my 2 terms on regional office, or even my 2 times serving as a chapter president. But instead, I'd like to focus on you, the TSA members, because really, that's what the Office of Sergeant at Arms is all about. And that's why I've developed 3 main initiatives to solve what I believe are the biggest challenges facing TSA members, like communication, connection, and comfort. So first, communication. I currently believe there's a gap between the student officer team and most TSA members. And while the previous officers have made great improvements, I'd like to continue on this momentum by creating a chapter representatives meeting on the regional level so we can really drum up participation, or even a town hall style meeting with the entire delegation so we can hear and solve your toughest questions. And second, connection. I'd like to create new activities to connect the delegation, such as virtual game nights or even many engineering competitions. These would provide opportunities for you to get involved on the state level. And third, comfort. As a TSA member, I've seen many new members quickly become overwhelmed or lost when beginning a new project. And that's why, if elected, I'd work with the student officer team to create a series of introductory videos that would explain what TSA is and how to get started working on projects so you can be your most successful self. So thank you, Pennsylvania TSA, and remember, elect Evan Kahn as your next PA-TSA Sergeant at Arms, because together we con.
My first experience in TSA wasn't easy. I remember being overwhelmed by event rulebooks and nervous about what the conference would be like. After that, I became more comfortable and I realized how wonderful TSA really is. But I wish that initial process for new members and middle schoolers was less stressful. That's why I, Rusho Nagandi, am running to be your next Sergeant at Arms. As a junior right now, I'm currently in my third year of TSA. This year, I served as Regional President, Chapter Vice President, and Co-Chair of the Event Resources Subcommittee within CSAC. With leadership experiences in and outside of TSA, I believe we can lead PA-TSA to its potential with multiple initiatives. On the Event Resources Subcommittee, we were able to create useful documents that will help guide you with your events. If elected, I will strive to expand the event resources and event gallery page to include more specific study guides. Second, I propose a statewide Q&A forum and event FAQs page. I believe that one of the best ways to succeed in your events is to collaborate with other members. By asking each other questions, you can save a lot more time to be creative with your events rather than trying to figure out where to begin. The pandemic has definitely been a cause of disappointment multiple times in TSA, but it has allowed us to improve our use of technology. So, as chair of the CSAC committee, I'd like to implement monthly virtual workshops and special interest sessions where students can meet online. This would be similar to the virtual Flex conference, except held live and multiple times during the year. Finally, I would like to gather feedback from members about special interest sessions early in the year. I believe this will be an extremely useful measure in letting members determine what special interest sessions to run, rather than limiting this decision to the CSAC committee itself. PA-TSA, my vision for this community lies in improving your experiences. Many of my initiatives are centered around getting feedback from members themselves and making your voice heard. If elected, I promise to use your ideas and opinions to push TSA to its potential.
Hi PA-TSA, my name is Miriam Ruback, and I am running to be your next Sergeant at Arms. There are 3 reasons why you should consider voting for me. First, I am passionate about TSA, an organization in which students can pursue their interests to their full potential, better understand technology, and be part of an effort to improve the world. Second, I have extensive TSA leadership experience. During the past 3 years, I have been a leader in my chapters as president and vice president. I have also taken leadership positions at the state level through the Conference Sessions and Activities Committee, where I am leading the Minecraft Special Interest Session. Third, I have ideas about how to improve Pennsylvania TSA. I would like to create leadership opportunities for our members, which could include leadership forums from previous TSA members, and programs to connect with TSA members to each other throughout the entire year. I would also like to create a contingency plan in case PA-TSA needs to go online again. We can also use this online format in states so more members can participate, even if they are not physically there. Finally, I would like to improve judge feedback forms by making them fully digital, so members can more easily see how to improve their projects. When voting, consider that I am active in TSA, that I always have its best interests at heart, and that I know how to be successful and innovative officer, and that I will bring my skills to the position of Sergeant at Arms. Your views matter, your vote matters, and you will go forward with Ruback. Thank you.
Oh hey, my name is Raj Patel and I'm running to be your 2021-22 PA-TSA State Reporter. During these difficult times, you deserve a leader who can advocate for you. I'm here to tell you that I'm worthy of this job. Today, I'll be sharing the best secret recipe to cook the perfect candidate. First, you're going to need a cup of leadership and experience. The past 2 years I served on my chapter's officer team as vice president and president, coupled with the experience from state committees, notably in the Communications and Promotions and National Service Project Committee, and experience from the 2021 Flex Virtual Conference. Next, you'll need a cup of organization and time management skills with a pinch of a strong work ethic. Lastly, you'll need a cup of love and care for all of PA-TSA and its members. Let's put our final product in the microwave. Let's take a look at our final product. Now that's a snack. Now let's dive into my objectives to create a more memorable TSA experience. My first goal is to enhance communication between officers and members with the development of social media forums like Google Forms or Padlets to allow members to relay information to officers on what they want to see at the PA-TSA conference. My next initiative would be to restructure the Communications and Promotions Committee by including a subcommittee that holds different skill workshops, which would help individual chapters with social media, fundraising, and learning new information. Third, I'll focus on strengthening state communication by working to reach out to other states to adopt new initiatives and work with the Outreach Committee to involve PA-TSA members in state networking to develop state and member connections. PA-TSA, your support will allow me to implement ideas for a more memorable upcoming TSA year. Remember, do well with Patel. Thank you.
Dear PA-TSA, look, I'm going to be honest, it's been a tough year, but I'm over it. It's time to leave the past behind us and look towards the future. My name is Michelle Zhang and I am running to be your next state reporter.
So here's the plan. First, we need to help chapters increase their membership. Recruitment has always been a challenge, but especially over this past year, we've seen a huge drop in numbers across the state. That's why I want to create a member recruitment toolkit. It will include promotional materials such as flyers and posters, as well as a step-by-step guide to help chapters along every step of the way. Next, we need to make TSA easier to understand for new members and chapters. By creating a video tutorial series covering the key parts of TSA such as chapter fundraising and competing, we can eliminate confusion often experienced by new members and overall strengthen our delegation. Our communication could also use some serious work. We all know how hard it is to get answers about events, leaving many members in the dark. I want to change that by putting a form on the website that allows you to send questions directly to the Board of Directors and State Officer team. This will ensure that members are getting answers quickly and from a reliable source. Afterwards, responses can be posted on the website for everyone else to see. Last but not least, I want to completely reinvent our email newsletter. Currently, it's extremely outdated and isn't being used to its fullest potential. I want to redesign and reformat it, as well as add sections such as a monthly scholarship list, committee highlights, and more. Also, as for my qualifications, here's a list.
So what's the bottom line? Yes, it's been a tough year, but do you want to know what the best part about something that's been a little broken?
It's that now we have a chance to rebuild it better. When voting, remember, make your mark with Michelle.
Hello PA-TSA. My name is Avanthia Tolit, and I want to be your 2021-2022 State Treasurer. I'm currently a sophomore at Cumberland Valley High School in Region 3, and this is my third year in TSA. These past 2 years, I've been my chapter's Treasurer-elect and Treasurer, respectively. This year, I was also Region 3's Vice President. This year and the last, I've been a member of the National Service Project Committee and the Regional Representatives Committee. This year, I was also a member of the Outreach Committee, the Bylaw Amendment and Resolution Committee, and the Conference Session and Activities Committee. There are many ideas I would like to implement when elected your State Treasurer. First of all, I would like to work with the Regional Representatives Committee to sell items at regionals to fundraise for the ACS. I would also like to work with the Conference Session and Activities Committee to host special interest sessions at the state conference to fundraise for the ACS. Along with pursuing the initiatives I listed above, the National Service Project Committee would continue the efforts of the past 2 state treasurers to conduct an apparel sale at the state conference. To help chapters fundraise throughout the year, I would host virtual meetings. Chapters who are struggling with fundraising and have questions could attend these meetings. I would invite chapters who have had successful fundraising efforts to share their ideas. I want this to be a collaborative space where chapters who are struggling can ask questions and chapters who are succeeding can answer. And I will also be present along with the National Service Project Committee to facilitate these conversations and help everyone out. Thank you for listening, and I really hope you remember to vote for Avanti as your next state treasurer.
This year has been tough, but through it all, TSA has persevered.
Hey PA-TSA, my name is Rick Bhattacharya and I'm running to be your next state treasurer. This year, as Region 8 president, I've spearheaded countless initiatives to help unite our region. I've helped coordinate chapter-level fundraisers and an apparel sale that raised more than $1,000 for the ACS. At the chapter level, I've raised more than $2,000 in corporate sponsorships. But we can do more at the state level. As your treasurer, my first priority would be addressing the cost to attend state. Many members, especially those in smaller chapters, are unsure about attending states due to high registration fees. I have my own business and I pay my own way to state, so when I saw that there would be a virtual conference registration fee of $60 this year, my first question was where that money was going. I will make public where your fees are going by publishing a breakdown of costs. From there, we will look into where we can lower those costs so that we can make states more affordable. My second initiative would be to streamline the ACS donation process. Until this year, there hasn't been very much guidance from the state about how chapters or regions should turn over ACS proceeds. I would design an online portal where chapters and regions can turn over their donations to the ACS along with what fundraisers they have completed. This information would then be presented in the form of a dashboard so the public can see what we've been up to while we can focus our chapter and region level fundraising for the most impact. As the president of the largest region in the state, I've not only shown that I have the leadership skills to lead PA-TSA, but also that I am adaptable. No matter how next year looks, as your next state treasurer, I will focus on making PA-TSA more affordable while making ACS fundraising simpler. So when it's time to vote, remember, rock next year with Rick.
Are there any questions? Greetings, PA-TSA. I'm James Coppersmith, and I'm running to be your 2021 to 2022 State Treasurer. I still remember walking into my first TSA meeting in 7th grade, amazed at all the events around me. And today I still walk in with gleams in my eyes, but not because of our projects, but because of our amazing members. Whether it's at conferences, or committee meetings, or online, you all inspire me each and every day, and now you've inspired me to run for state office to give back to PA-TSA. Looking around me at all these equipments, it reminds me of just how much effort we constantly put into our events, and nonetheless, I've seen so many destroyed on bus trips gone wrong. So as your state treasurer, I would implement the event adjustment station as an extension of our printing station with glue, screwdrivers, rulers, scissors, and all the equipment you need to make last-minute touch-ups to your events. And all proceeds would go to ACS. Speaking of which, as much as I have loved fundraising for the American Cancer Society as a regional officer or participating in our Miracle Month challenges, but aiming for regional and state levels is just not enough. The heart of TSA is our chapters. So as chair of the National Service Project Committee, I would introduce the Link Subcommittee, helping to raise funding across our individual chapters and linking us all together. Because after all, divided or virtual, we are one PA-TSA. Finally, I know it's been a year where it's felt like we've had no choice, but I want to give one last choice to you by allowing you to vote on the next PA-only competitive event. Currently, between engineering troubleshooting, statistical analysis, or industrial fabric composition. But of course, I would be accepting your submissions as well. PA-TSA, it's been a long year, and I know it's going to be a long time until we see each other again, but this is our chance to make a real difference together. So come talk to me during one of the 3 special interest sessions that I'll be running this year, and remember to tell your chapter that a vote for James
is a vote for change!
Hello PA-TSA, my name is Philip Gao and I'm running to be your next state treasurer. I'm currently a junior in high school and this will be my 6th year in TSA. Every year has come with its own valuable experiences. In middle school, I was able to serve as my chapter's president, and in high school, I was able to serve as chapter officer. In recent years, I've headed my chapter's fundraising committee and also served as vice chair to the NSP. Regardless of the position, I was able to work with some amazing students and advisors and gain insight along the way. As a result, I'd love to give back to this organization by being your next state treasurer. My first initiative for next year is to create better incentives at the state level. I'll give you guys what you truly want, not plaques, not reserved seating, but the ability to skip lines. Students from schools who have raised the most money for the ACS will be awarded a VIP pass that allows them to skip lines for event drop-offs, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and more. Additionally, they can receive discounts on PA-TSA attire, printing, and entries to video game tournaments. But how will students know if their chapter is winning? There's currently no system that allows you to compare your donations with those of other schools. Well, to go along with my previous initiative, I'll add a leaderboard system to the PA-TSA website that updates the amount raised by each school. This feature will ensure that people stay engaged and competitive with the National Service Project and continue their fundraising efforts throughout the year. Lastly, I'd like to make the state conference easier for members of new chapters. To help these members adapt to our culture, I'll implement a peer system that pairs them with veteran TSA members. These veterans will give them tours, go through the conference schedule, and assist them in any way they need. It would truly be my honor to serve as your next state treasurer. And although this year's state conference will certainly be different, I hope you still enjoy every second of it, and I wish you the best of luck with your events. So when it comes time to vote, please remember to take the vow to vote for Gao.
Hey PA-TSA, my name's Erin McKendry, and I'm here today to tell you what I can do for you. My approach to the secretary position revolves around 3 primary initiatives. Firstly, I would like to develop a PA-TSA index. This index is intended to be a 2-volume set, the first volume focusing on STEM opportunities, and the second focusing more on chapter assistance. Although exact details of this initiative depend on unforeseeable aspects, I do have a theoretical approach to it. As a brief overview, the STEM opportunity volume, would organize the outreach committee's years of research into a concise and accessible document. The second volume, Chapter Assistance, is slightly more complex and uncharted, specifically because it is intended to help combat the confusion caused by recent changes from COVID-19. This volume will likely include chapters on student licensing, alternative and new programs for events, and other topics regarding advice and explanations for both new and older chapters alike. There is also the potential for it to include a small Q&A section at the end. If such a section were to be developed, a subcommittee of the Outreach Committee would likely take responsibility for managing what questions are added and so forth. On to the second primary goal, the development of scholarships. In recent years, I have noticed that PA-TSA lacks a substantial number of scholarships, especially ones for rising juniors and graduating seniors. It is my goal to establish more scholarships since they play such a large role in empowering students to carry on their education. The final goal is a little less specific to the secretary position. I would like to bring PA-TSA branding to a whole new level. I have conducted a similar initiative on the regional level during my time as a regional officer, so there is already a usable basis for how to conduct such an expansion. I hope that I was able to show you what I have to bring to the table and give you better insight into what I intend to do if elected as secretary.
Hey PA-TSA, Ben here, and I wanted to start off by saying thank you. You have given me a great opportunity this year to serve as your state parliamentarian. Been able to accomplish a lot, and that's mainly because of all of the support our members of PA-TSA have given me. I'll forever be grateful, but now I'm excited to announce my campaign for state secretary, and once again asking for your support so that we can lead the way for PA-TSA. I've been working tirelessly to bring many statewide initiatives to fruition this year, and I'm striving to continue these endeavors within PA-TSA. Wouldn't you like to go to states for a minimum cost? To accomplish this, creating new guides for chapter outreach and securing outside organizations to sponsor certain PA-TSA events will allow us to obtain new funding for students in need. Everyone has events that have been gathering dust in attics and garages over the years, but now imagine that these events can be used outside of competitions for corporate sponsors to view and fund. This will allow for the direct integration of your TSA knowledge in the real world. Now you may be thinking, how? Working off the foundations and research that was initiated by the Outreach Committee this year, we can take the final step of reaching out and utilizing our newly established connections to reach this goal. However, minimizing the cost of participating in TSA will never come from that alone. Well, this brings me to my next point, revitalizing PA-TSA's web resources. By updating these resources, we could bring the PA-TSA website to a new level. This will ensure that chapters can acquire funding from both corporate sponsors and school districts alike. Our website has the potential to include numerous events for sponsors and new members to view, toolkits that about corporate outreach at the chapter level, promotional content to help them raise awareness and acquire further funding from the school districts, and even a potential PA-TSA event quiz. All of these are further explained in my social media account. But that isn't all, folks. We still have state officer business cards, a PA-TSA history book, a committee mentorship program, a chapter fair special interest session, inviting nearby state officers to our conference, and much, much more. Anyways, it's time to wrap up this speech. If you want a secretary that has the right qualifications, a proper work ethic, a strong platform, then together we can lead the way for PA-TSA. Thank you, and remember to vote for Ben Moldowski as your next PA-TSA secretary.
Think back to March of 2020. You were spending time with your friends and family, managing time for schoolwork, maybe starting a new hobby, or even getting excited for the 2020 state conference. At least I was, before the world was put on hold. The one thing that remained a constant was TSA, but even this was hit by unexpected events, leaving us all devastated. Luckily, we were still able to determine our 2020 to 2021 state officers, and I was appointed as your state historian. As a state officer team, we have faced many challenges and restrictions this year while planning out the virtual conference. But next year, our year, we will elevate Pennsylvania TSA to new heights. Hello, Pennsylvania TSA. My name is Avery Brogy, and I will lead new change within our organization as our next state vice president. PA-TSA has taken many steps in enhancing our social media communication, but now it is time to enhance communication among our regions. Currently, regions operate mostly isolated from one another. And by fostering a line of communication that stems directly from regions working closely, we will be able to create more collaboration and promote the fluid diffusion of ideas between regions. Now everybody stop. Quickly think of an idea, problem, or action that you would take to ensure that PA-TSA thrives. Now imagine that idea projected into reality. Currently, proposing initiatives without holding a state officer position is a difficult and drawn-out field. By allowing members to propose their initiatives directly to the newly elected state officer team, new ideas and possible board proposals would be able to be gained through PA-TSA member initiative meetings. Pennsylvania TSA, we have the facilities to grow our future even brighter. I'm running for vice president because now more than ever, PA-TSA needs a strong, dedicated, and passionate leader to lead them through these tough times. To check out more information about my ideas and initiatives, please make sure to follow my social media campaign. Thank you.
One aspect that has always impressed me about Pennsylvania TSA is that every member has interacted with it and experienced it differently. While we all have the same state conference, it is the different ways that we each connect with our delegation that make our experiences unique. Personally, interacting with Pennsylvania TSA has always meant to building a community, whether that be through my teams, committees, or friends from around the state. As I plan to put forth valuable change to our delegation, I plan to foster a community. Hello, PA-TSA. My name is Julie Wright, and I'm so excited to run for the position of Vice President. Having served for this association this past year as State Sergeant at Arms, it would be my greatest honor to once again advocate for Pennsylvania TSA, this time as our Vice President. In my previous term, I stuck to my word, not only putting all of my campaign initiatives into action, but also creating various new initiatives, such as the Miracle Month fundraiser or our first state meme contest that was open to all of National TSA. As Vice President, I will continue to advocate for Pennsylvania TSA so that our organization reciprocates the effort and hard work that our members invest into our delegation. My plan is to unite our state through closer region-to-chapter communication, by creating networking opportunities across the regions by increasing outreach to external organizations and post-secondary institutions, by helping to integrate new chapters into our membership, and by continuing to uphold our strong social media presence. As Vice President, I plan to devote my dedication to this organization to the extent that I see our members do so every day. PA-TSA, I have kept my promises, and I am ready to serve you once again. Together, we can do it right with Julie Wright. Thank you.
Hey PA-TSA, I hope you've been staying safe and healthy this past year. I have missed seeing everyone in person, and I cannot wait until we can get together again. My name is Madison Martin, and I'm running to serve as your 2021 to 2022 state president. It has been an honor to serve as your PA-TSA state reporter this past year. I campaigned to improve the communication within our state, and I accomplished my goal. I started biannual virtual chapter representative meetings, tripled our number of social media posts, and expanded the surveys and polls initiative. However, there's still so much more I want to do for you, the members of PA-TSA. A few months ago, a member invited me to attend their chapter meeting to give feedback and answer some questions about our organization. I joined the Zoom meeting and we had a great TSA-related discussion. If elected, I will implement a standard Google form on the website to allow members to easily request visits from any of the state officers. Your chapter will be able to have one-on-one conversations with an SOT member. Second, I will improve the committee vice chair selection process. In the past, decisions were based solely off of responses to a Google form. To give vice chair candidates the opportunity to express their strengths and interests, I will implement committee vice chair interviews, similar to the interviews for the office of historian or parliamentarian. Candidates will be able to vouch for why they're best suited for the position and interact with the committee chairs. This will ensure a fair and accurate vice chair selection decision. Lastly, I will create a chapter representative Discord server. Members will be able to safely collaborate and ask questions, and state officers will have a direct method of communicating pertinent information with chapters. By simplifying the process to request a state officer at your chapter, implementing committee vice chair interviews, and creating a chapter representative Discord server, I know that I will be able to exponentially improve our statewide communication. To learn more about my qualifications and initiatives, check out my campaign Instagram at Madison for PA-TSA. When voting, remember that you win with Martin.